Hello again. It's Thursday. Another wonderful weekend football. Texans ended up beating the Titans, so I didn't, need to go into an alcoholic coma. But there was a slight hiccup in fantasy world. Um, yeah, I'll talk about that here in a second. But Texans got a bye week, but I do not sleep. I'll be coming for you, classy strippers, to finish off what I provided to you earlier this year. Remember that, son. But we got a few things going on in the league right now. We got some pending trades. I promised the guy that was in the trade that I wouldn't use this forum to debate such topics. So I'll refer to you to the message boards if you haven't already. Um, but please make sure that you vote whether or not you think that trade is indeed fair or not. Um, Last week, starting off with a grim game. 99 problems, but you ain't one versus designated drunk drivers. I could have sworn I was going to beat this guy, but Aaron Rodgers wanted to lay an egg. So, I mean, he played best defense in the league right now. They showed up for Aaron Rodgers, no doubt. And that probably was the difference maker. Kudos to designated driver. I don't want to take anything away from Carson Palmer's 40 burger or, Devontae Freeman showing up or Michael Crabtree, who I didn't think was going to show up. But, I mean, he did a wonderful job beating the unbeaten 99 problems, but you ain't one, solidifying his role as the number one guy in the Central Division. Kudos. Now, moving on to Don't Touch Me There versus Chicago Chalupas in the battle for the Brothers Bowl. I mean, it was a interesting situation to say the least. I mean, who did I have winning that game? Don't touch me there, of course. He was destined to just destroy Chicago Chalupas. Unfortunately, Tom Brady's 40 burger was matched with Drew Brees' 60 burrito in this motherfucker. I mean, he rolled it up, wrapped it tight, and then passed it out to everybody so they could nibble on. Chicago Chalupas turned it around, ended up winning this game by a huge margin. Chicago Chalupas to keep himself deep in the wild card hunt, possibly could even get a divisional championship. I mean, it's been mine for 2 years. I might as well make it a third. So I'm not gonna concede anything to Chicago Chalupas. See you week 12, my friend. So right now I'm 0 for 2 with my picks last week. Now we got Bull City versus Flawless Victory. Who did I have winning that matchup? Well, none other than the Flawless Victory. He's been on a tear as of late. The man pulled out a squeaker against Bull City. I mean, 137 to 134. You don't get much closer than that. I mean, Andrew Luck did just enough to keep this guy deep in it. I mean, flawless victory on a stellar 3-game winning streak after dropping 5 in a row. Don't sleep on this guy in the West, fellas. Don't sleep. I am now 1 win, 2 losses. Moving on to a game that I thought would have been a little bit better. I mean, the 2 bottom feeders, haters get des nuts, classy strippers. But obviously, haters get des nuts might have thrown in the towel even before classy strippers. So, I thought haters get des nuts wanted to win this. With his current trade pending, it looks like he's giving up for future as well. I hope he comes back. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, he's not too marred by this season and doesn't come back. We love you, Shale. We need to keep getting these easy victories from you, bro. Keep coming back. But I am now currently 1 win, 3 losses for the week last week. Moving on to Bolt Up Bitches versus Polk High Panthers. Who did I pick? Obviously, Bolt Up Bitches, considering that Polk High Panthers is stupid. I mean, he's not showing up to the games. He's not responding in the message boards. Obviously, it's a hamper on fucking the league. Bolt Up Bitches with that easy victory. I'm currently 2 wins, 3 losses. See if I can get to 500 with Lazy Pugs versus Ryan Mallett on 3rd and long. Who did I vote for? I voted for Ryan Mallett on 3rd and long. I'm going to ride with him. But unfortunately, just like he's in free agency, he didn't show up. An amazing effort by the skill players for Lazy Pugs, despite Matthew Stafford hurting him with just 5 points. He showed up with Demaryius Thomas, Brandon Marshall, and obviously Gronk. Little Nate Washington in the flex. Look at that. That's an amazing play. Lazy Pugs with the victory. Every team in the East won, with the exception of me. I let the East down. It's crazy, but I guess it does happen. So I was, 2 wins, 4 losses. My picks last week. I'm gonna go into, obviously I mentioned briefly about the trades that are going on. That's the only one this year that I thought might have been a little suspect, but not so suspect for me to just veto it outright. So, we look at some of the moves going. I really want to take a look at the free agent pool. I mean, I put in some lofty bids for some of these guys with the free agent auction report. Let's take a gander, shall we? Let's see what happened Tuesday. All right. At the top of the list of what happened on Tuesday, both the bitches went ahead and tried to snag Jeremy Langford. Now, I put in $26. I thought that was pretty lofty. And even Classy Strippers went ahead and put in 33. Not enough. Both up bitches, 35 big ones. The next big transaction, none other than Vernon Davis. We had Flawless Victory put in 15. That's a reasonable bid. We had Ryan Mallett on 3rd and long, 18. 99 Problems, 19. We had Designated Drivers with 20. Chalupa's 22. But D wanted a tight end getting his tosses from Peyton fucking Manning. 25 big ones for Vernon Davis went to DDD. Marquez Colston was also on the block. Chicago Chalupas dropped 15 for him. And then, it tapers off, obviously, with some there was some big purchases this week, leaving some people, damn near penniless. So let's take a look. Right now, Bolt Up Bitches has $0 with his expenditure for Langford. $0. I don't know if he still wanted to win the West. He very well could, but going in the playoffs with $0 with the chance for injuries. I just want to emphasize $0 with the chance for injuries. Good luck, bro. Good luck. I mean, this is gonna be an interesting postseason for you with $0. But that's pretty much it. Everybody else seems to be in a balance. Lazy Pucks has 30 that he needs to be spending money. So and that's the transactions, coupled with the trades that are, still pending vetoes and approvals. But let's go to what I've got for this week. This week, I have to come correct. I mean, I got 6 guys on buys. 6. But I'm a champion at heart. So I don't let those 6 buys affect me whatsoever. So, when this game between myself and Classy Strippers, I mean, I give mad respect to Classy Strippers, but I don't know. Matt Ryan going up against San Francisco should have a big day. Eddie Lacy going up undefeated Carolina. I have a feeling that Green Bay's going to need to utilize the running game, but not more than they want to blow the fuck out of Carolina. That's an NFC team. That's a team you can see in the playoffs. You want to show them that they have no chance against you. Aaron Rodgers going to have a big day. I got Alshon Jeffries on Monday night, coupled with Antonio Gates. Hopefully, it won't even come down to those 2 players by the time, Sunday night's over. I'll be coasting into a victory. He'll have Stevie Johnson, but it won't matter. I should get this victory easily. Moving on to Hawkeye Panthers, Auto Draft King versus Bull City. Now, got Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch on buys. Is that going to matter? I think they're still going to start for this guy's roster. So I'm giving this win to Bull City. Bull City should move on to 4-5 while Hawkeye Panthers drops to 2-7. We got our dunce of the league, and I'm sorry, fellas, that he hasn't panned out. I take great onus for this. That I vouch for this guy. I vouch for his football acumen, and he still hasn't produced, and it kind of hurts. So, moving on to Chicago Chalupas versus D. And who do I have winning this matchup? None other than the guy on a tear right now, D. I don't care if that trade goes through for Antonio Brown. It's still not going to stop DDD from just ramshotting this guy deep. I mean, Chicago Chalupas wide receivers are battered. I can see why he wants a good one. He picked up Marquez Colston, probably a valuable play considering he's got Drew Brees. Probably should have had this kid, but it is what it is. If he gets Antonio Brown, his team will obviously be much better, but DDD's going to end up hurting this kid this week. DDD for the win. Next, Bolt Up Bitches versus Flawless Victory. Is this the week Flawless Victory ends his winning streak? I'm afraid so, my friends. Bolt Up Bitches. His team is better with Langford in it, but I mean, Amari Cooper, Big Ben slinging a rock against Oakland. I'm looking at Bolt Up Bitches scoring above 165. Flawless Victory might make it to 140. We'll see, but Bolt Up Bitches for that victory right there. Next up, we've got Haters Get Des Nuts and Ryan Mallett on 3rd and long. Aaron Hill, you're going to have to work on that name. It's kind of worn out. But, I mean, we got one guy trying to give up Antonio Brown. We got another guy whose, lineup is questionable, literally. I mean, there's cues everywhere. But I have to give this victory to Ryan Mallett on 3rd and long. If this trade goes through or if it doesn't. My reasoning being is I think Andy Dalton's going to have a tough time against Cleveland. I don't know if Randall Cobb's going to be the main target for Aaron Rodgers. With Stu Beef and McCoy now on Ryan Mallett's roster, and that trade that he made for Alshon Jeffries, it solidifies his stability to score points. So I'm giving this one to Ryan Mallett on 3rd and long. Moving on to the last game of the week. Don't Touch Me There versus Lazy Pugs. Get some. I got Lazy Pugs winning this matchup, and only because I know he's a fighter. Don't Touch Me There, former champion. I'm not discrediting anything for that. But Lazy Pugs is going to probably put in some major work with Gronk. Peyton Manning going up against Indy. I mean, the struggling Luck versus the struggling Manning. Manning showed up against Aaron Rodgers. There's no reason for him not to show up against Andrew Luck. So I just think that Lazy Pugs might have better matchups this week, and he's going to get better performance from his players than Don't Touch Me There. Well, those are my picks for the week, fellas. I'm sorry I didn't get the, the fantasy stud and most improved for week 8. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back and make sure everybody knew who the fantasy stud and dud were for, after week 7. Fantasy stud goes to none other than Designated Drunk Drivers. He was killing it. And fantasy dud, probably going to stay with Hawkeye Panthers for quite a while. Definitely in week 7. He didn't score in triple digits. Most improved, definitely flawless victory, getting that win in week 7. Starting that streak, that 3-game winning streak to bring it to 2. So those are my fantasy dud, stud, and most improved for the end of week 7. For the end of week 8, fantasy stud goes to designated drunk drivers again for toppling the giant, the undefeated giant in the East, 99 problems, but you ain't one. And kind of made this somewhat of a race in the East. I mean, who's gonna win the Eastern title, and kind of put some distance from himself for his division. Fantasy dud goes to Polk High Panthers. I mean, anytime you start guys that are injured, I think it's safe to say that Polk High Panthers may be the fantasy dud for the rest of the year. Most improved this week, I'm going to have to say, was Classy Strippers. Classy Strippers are struggling bad, looking awful. But came in there with Haters Get Des Nuts and said, you know what, I'm not done. This season's not over. And all it would take is for Chicago Chalupas to lose 2 games. Unfortunately, Classy Strippers, you're going to lose to me, so it really doesn't matter. But, this is your last game against me. Haters Get Des Nuts is not going to matter regardless. So, I mean, you beating him, special for you, but not special for anybody else. So, but you're my most improved. Week 9, it really just depends. If you could beat me this week, you definitely got a shot at the wild card. Hell, you definitely have a shot at the wild card. You might even have a shot at the title if I continue to have a losing streak. But I mean, let's be honest. Losing streak from this guy, probably not going to happen. So, keep fighting. You never know how it's going to pan out. You never know how it's going to pan out, bro. Keep fighting, everybody. That's my advice to y'all. Don't forget, vote on the trades. If you think they're fair, they're fair. If you don't think they're fair, veto the fuck out of them. All right, boys. I want y'all to take care and be easy.